Hi guys, here is your quiz for this first quiz in chapter 2. Alright, the first two problems that we're talking about, they want us to identify the domain and the range. Now remember, it's the same, this would be the same as if you would say your input, this is your output. Okay? So keep that in mind. They just want you to list them. So just write domain equals and these numbers, range equals, and then these numbers. Then they also want you to tell whether it's a function. So by looking at these, remember for every input, there can only be one output. Just like we talked about with brownies. I make one batch of brownies, it's going to make one pan, not two. Okay, I could use different brands. Okay, I can use different brands of brownie mix, and they could give me the brownies, but I can't have the same brownies making, or the same mix making brownies and a cake or something. So take a look at these. For every input, there can only be one output. So list the domain and the range, and then yes or no, whether it's a function. On 3 through 6, you need to graph these equations. So the most important thing to do is first identify the m and the b. Okay, remember your b is always the last number. Your m is the slope, which is right in front of the x. So now what you want to do is when we graph, I'm just going to shrink this off to the side momentarily. You want to draw a graph. Okay, and just for example, if my b was 2, so that means I'm going up to 2 on the y-axis. If my slope was a negative 2 over 1, that means I'm going down 2 units and over 1. And then this would be my next point, and that means I have a negative slope, which means my line is going down. Okay, that is what you are doing for 3 through 6. Don't ask me why that's not moving, but it isn't. 7 through 10, tell whether it's a linear function. In order for something to be a linear function, it needs to be written like a line, which is in y equals mx plus b format. Okay? If it's not in this format, if it's something different, then it's not a function. Okay? So look at these carefully and determine if these are in y equals mx plus b format. If they are, put yes. If they're not, put no. But then on all of these problems, you're to substitute negative 2 for the x and solve what's left of the problem. Okay? So make sure you're careful with that. Okay, 11 through 13, they want us to find the slope of a line going through these 2 points. So remember, to find the slope, you got to take y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Here's your x1 and your y1, your x2 and your y2. You can label the other ones. In fact, looks like somebody at some point in time already labeled it. They didn't label this one, but they labeled these. But just plug them in. But remember, there's always a minus, and if there's a negative, so it's minus a negative, whatever that number is. Okay? And finally, number 14 says the amount your family pays for rent increases $1,125 per month to $1,395 a month over a 6-year period. So it goes from this to this over the course of 6 years. What's the annual rate of change in the rent that your family pays? So find the difference between these two and divide it up by 6 years. That'll tell you how much it is changing per year. If you have questions, make sure you ask me, and hopefully this helped you out. Have a good rest of the day.